Hey y'all, and welcome to Monter's Market, and welcome to my Welcome to the Farm video. Now, I am not going to be showing you around my farm. I'm just simply going to be showing you some of the most adorable farmhouse decor that I've made, mostly with Dollar Tree things. This is DIY number 1, and these are the little tags that you can get from the Dollar Tree. Well, I shouldn't say little because these things are huge. They are huge, and they're thicker to me than the older ones, like a lot thicker. And they come with these adorable little beaded hangers. Look at that. So stinking cute. So the first thing I did was went in and took the beaded hangers off. And I thought I was going to easily just remove these little pieces up front. But wouldn't come off, so I thought, heat it up, get that glue heated up. Well, that didn't work. Well, it worked a little bit. Anyway, it just destroyed the paper. It just tore it all to pieces. But I wasn't real worried about it because I'm going to take some of the cutest fabric from the Dollar Tree and cover it. So I really didn't think it was going to be a big deal. And I almost cut a certain part out. Now look at this right here. If that don't scream farmhouse, honey, nothing does. Look at that. I am so in love with this. Oh, I just love it. Anyway, I thought sure that it would cover up everything that's under it. Now, the darker one did, but this lighter one right here, is that not gorgeous? I don't know about y'all, but I am so in love with both of these. Anyway, I took the Mod Podge and I covered both of them. And like I said, I started to cut this one out because once it was done, you could see through that fabric. But I didn't cut it out because I wanted you to see how easy it is to fix a mistake. And, we all make mistakes. We're not perfect, and it's just as hard for me to figure things out sometimes as it is for you. And this is a brand new cutter, fabric cutter, and that thing wasn't worth a dime. I'm going to end up having to take it back. It was junk. So I ended up taking my scissors and going around it and cutting it as close as possible. Now, whenever I peeled that that fabric off, you see how you can see right through it, all of those, that design and everything? You can see right through it. But anyway, when I peeled that back off to replace it, it was just a mess under there. And I didn't want to paint over it. So I ended up taking it to the kitchen and dampened that paper that's down there that's got the design on it. And believe it or not, after it got a little damp, it just scraped right off and was just as smooth as the back. But when I was trying to get the the paper off of the striped one that stuck with the glue, oh my word, honey, it was stuck. So I wet it and I scrubbed it and I scrubbed it and I scrubbed it and I finally got it all off. But it shrunk the fabric. It literally shrunk the fabric down. See how you can see right through that right there? Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I'm so in love with it. But you can still see see? You can see right through it. And that was the one I wanted on the top. Now you'll see what I'm talking about. See how that paper stuck right there? There was no getting it off. Not dry. And it had that print on it, so I had to get it off. Anyway, you can see it was going a little fast, but all of that paper came off, and I was able to get it put back down. But it took me a little bit of maneuvering to stretch it back out enough to cover it. But look at how gorgeous it turned out. Now this is our country kitchen little transfer, and the other one on the bottom says, "I'll love you forever," which is kind of cute, I guess. It's not my style, but all I wanted off of it was the cow anyway. So I took my black chalk paste and I went in, I chalked that on and peeled it off, and watch. Perfection. Oh, I'm so in love with these things. And then I took the cow and I pasted it on. And it's just so stinking cute. And then I peeled it off. Looky yonder, y'all. Now that sign is complete as far as the design on it goes. Now you just take your, no, let me go back. So I did that in ink. That was not paste. When you're using fabric, you use ink instead of paste. And you have to heat set it. That's why you saw me taking my heat gun and just like going over it, because it sets it in. Anyway, I always clean my transfers immediately, because you can get most of that paste back off if you go wash it right away. Now these are just some random ribbons that I have gotten from several different places, and I wanted to make me a messy bow. So I went through, cut them off, and then now that's just me going back through and dovetailing those edges. And they just look so pretty once you dovetail the ends of them. So I'm going through, stacking them up in just a random order from the largest to the smallest. And then I'm going to take me a piece of that little ribbon and go right around the middle, bringing it all together. And look at how stinking cute that thing is when you get it wrapped around the middle. It's just perfect. Now my edges on the smaller ones was a little bit too long because they're too small to dovetail. So I just trimmed those down. So now I'm going to go in. I found these little feet on Amazon, and I will list them below. And you've seen them if you watched last week's video, on one of the boxes. But I wanted a little knob on the front of those signs that I was making. So I got 2 of them out, and this is me just stringing a beaded hanger for the top to hang it with. Well, once I got the beaded hanger made for the top, I also went back in and made a couple of little, no, these are actually the ones that hang from the bow that I made. So I just made a couple little beaded tassels to hang from my bow. Then I made the beaded, oh my word. Then I made the beaded hanger to hang it with. Now this is just a little piece of greenery from the Dollar Tree that I bought, and to me it is absolutely gorgeous. So I put my little beaded hanger on, I get my bow all fluffed up, glue it down, add me a little bit of that greenery in there. I don't know what it is about greenery, but to me it finishes off everything. When I'm decorating a wall in my house, it's just not complete until I have some greenery on a shelf or around a picture or something. I love greenery, and this greenery is just so high-end looking. Now this is that little pit, oh man, I thought I'd remember the name. Beaded pit berries? Something like that. I know y'all gonna tell me down in the comments what it's really called. Anyway, and then I hang my little beaded hangers, and then that's when I take my little knobs, and I just hot glued them to the bottom. There wasn't no need in screwing a nail into it or anything, and that was it. And now those signs are so big that this is a very large piece. But let me know what you think about this double tag sign down in the comments below. I happen to be in love with it. I think it's just gorgeous, and I love it. And I started to use the one that's on the back on the front, but I knew if I took my white paste and put that sign on the front, it would wash it all out. Now these are the cutest little things you've ever seen in your life. You can get, oh, I guess I'm going to tell you what I used. I used ivory chalk paint. Then I used these little cloches that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I don't know about yours, but at mine you can get them all the time. These are just a couple of little random beads that I wanted to use on the top of my cloches, and 2 candlesticks from the Dollar Tree. Now when I find them candlesticks, I buy all that they have. Yes, I am greedy. And this is a little pig and a little cow that I found at Dollar Tree a long time ago. Some E6000, and then I'm just going to finish it off with just a little bit of hot glue from a glue gun. So I took all of the pieces and painted them with that ivory paint so it would all match. And I was a little bit out of frame here, but hopefully you get the gist of what I was doing. I apologize for being out of frame. But anyway, once I got everything painted and it dried, I also made sure I painted my little beads and my little, the one thing is a teeny tiny little bean pot. And it was perfect for the top of the cloche. I wish I'd have had two of them. That one right there is what I'm talking about. I wish I'd have had two of them because that was prettier to me on the top than just a bead. But I only had one, and it, it did switch it up a little bit and just made them a little bit different. And so then I took some of that Spanish moss or whatever it's called from the Dollar Tree and put it in the bottom of my little cloches. Glued it down with E6000 and hot glue and started filling them up. Now this is just some spackling that you can get from the Dollar Tree that I wanted to fill in the holes to the bead that I put on the top, and I let it dry. Then I took this truffle chalk paint from Waverly and I went in and I dry brushed around the candle and the bottom of those little cloche holders. And thankfully, I stopped at only gluing the moss down on one of them because I got a little ahead of myself and forgot to dry brush it first. So anyway, I dry brushed both of the candlesticks, and then I got to thinking it would look cute with some sort of ribbon around it because it was cute, but it was a little plain. And that's just me dry brushing the top of those little things that I put on top of the cloche. But anyway, I got to thinking that it was a little bit too plain, cute, but plain. So I went and got me some of the little farmhouse ribbon that you can get from the Dollar Tree. And I put it right around the bottom of that little cloche bottom. And after I got that done, then I took some twine and wrapped it right there where the bottom of the cloche holder and the candlestick come together. You couldn't see any glue, but you could see a tiny little gap. And I just used that twine to make it, use it for a gap filler to fill it in so it looked like one cohesive piece. And this is me just adding a little bit of twine. Now, I did want the front of both of them to look different. I didn't want them to be cookie cutter the same. So I put the ribbon on this one and the twine on there and made a little bow. It's a pitiful bow, y'all. I could have done much better with that bow, but I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, it turned out cute enough, I guess. But that little bow was just pitiful in my opinion. But anyway, on the other one, I had a gorgeous burlap ribbon. And, not ribbon, burlap rose. And instead of putting, thankfully, a little pitiful bow on both of them. Oh, I did hang a few pieces of twine. I put that right there, what you see on that one, on the one. Then I did the same thing here with the ribbon and the twine around the bottom. But then I added that really pretty burlap rose to the front of it. And that made a big difference because that rose was gorgeous. Now, if I'd had two of those roses, I would have definitely put, they would have looked the same. I would have put one on each one because it was just so pretty, but I didn't. But, like I said, it gave it a little bit of character. Now, what I'm putting in there is just a little sprigs of greenery, a little bit of baby's breath, and it all comes from the Dollar Tree. Every single thing for this particular DIY is 100% Dollar Tree. Everything. And I just put my little sprigs of greenery in there until I liked it. Then I added my little pig, and then I added my little cow, and they were done. And I was just so proud of the way these things turned out. And I think they're cute. They're super farmhouse, and they're different. It's not the same old. And I cannot wait to hear what you think about these when I start reading them down in the comments below. So definitely let me know what you like about this. Let me know what you don't like about this. Now, I know that distressing is not for everybody. Believe me, I've read it a million times. I hate distressing. Distressing's ugly. That's fine. You paint it whatever color you want it. You don't even have to put a cow and a pig inside of yours. You can put whatever you want in there. At the Dollar Tree, they have a ton of little trinkets and things that you can put in your little cloche holder. All I'm doing is giving you some inspiration to go out and make this your own. But that's how these turned out, and I love them to death. Look at that rose. That actually came from BB Crafts when I first started my channel a couple years ago. Now, this DIY number 3 is just one of those new, what do you call that stuff? Shiplap. One of the new shiplap boards that you can get from the Dollar Tree. They came in black, white, and sort of a wood color. And I wanted the black to match the rest. Now, that's just me taking hot glue and filling in those little holes from the hanger. And this little design right here says Farm Charm, and it's just as cute as it can be. And I decided to use the cow and the pig because that's what I had in my little cloches, was a cow and a pig, just to kind of make it all flow together in my vignette and all, just match, because that's what a vignette is. It's just your matching pieces that you've done for your video that day. Now, this is just our bright white paste from Chalk Couture. And like I said, in the first one, I used the ink because ink's what you use on the fabric. And this is the paste because paste is what you use on anything besides fabric. Watch this. Y'all, I never, ever get tired of watching the reveal. It's just perfect every time. Now, this I wanted to show you. A lot of people ask how to clean them and how to get the top, get the back on without fighting with it. And I learned this from Melissa at All Things Crafty. She puts her transfer upside down, and then she puts her white backing on top of it. And I fought and struggled till I seen her do that one time. And that, you just lay it right down, and it lays down perfectly. So if you're struggling to get your transfer back onto your backing, try that. Try laying your transfer on its non-sticky side, and then put your shiny side of your backing down, and it just works perfect every time. But look at how cute that pig and now this cow turns out. I love it, and I think it matches everything that I've done today perfectly. Now, you can see on that sign it was pretty beat up because I had it in a box with some other things that I had bought, and it bumped that sign all to pieces. And I started to take some black paint and touch it up, and I thought, you know what? No, that gives it a little bit more of a rustic feel, and I just left it. Well, here I'm taking the same beads that I used on my first one because, I want it all to be, cohesive and match. And now I'm just making me 5 little tiny tassels, and I'm going to hang those tassels along that beaded hanger. Now, once I got the beaded hanger made, when it was hanging on the front of the sign, I thought, you know what, that's just cute like that. So I decided to put some feet on the back and make it to where you could either stand it up or hang it up, because it just looks so cute hanging on the front of the sign. So you could either hang it or you could stand it. Now, I'm just putting a little bit of glue, adding a little tiny piece of tape to secure that down because it had a lot of beads on it and it's a little bit heavier. Then I go back in and I add my tassels, and I just thought they turned out so cute. And basically what I did was put one at each end, one right smack in the middle, and then 2, one in the middle between the middle one and the far end. I hope that makes sense. It didn't sound like it did, but you know what I'm talking about. I evened them down. My Lord, y'all know I'm going to get tongue-tied. I evened them out, or counted them evenly across, and put it in the middle. I give up. I need to start over, but I'm not going to because I'm too lazy. But anyway, these are the little Jenga blocks that you can, or tumbling tower blocks that you can get at the Dollar Tree every day. I just took 6 of them and I glued one in the middle, one at each end, and then I came back with another one and put it in front of that because, they're not real thick. So it wasn't quite enough. One was not quite enough to stand it up. So I just went back and put another one on there, and then it stood up perfectly, and I was done. And this is what it turned out like. I love it. I think it's just adorable. And again, I had made it originally to hang on a hanger, and you still can do that. But when I seen how cute it was, I just left it like that. But this is my final reveal, and I think it is just gorgeous altogether. This is my first picture. Now, those beads right there are 100% Dollar Tree. They came out a few months back, and mine is keeping them pretty well stocked in all of my Dollar Trees. I have about 10 Dollar Trees within a 10-mile radius, and y'all, I'm not even lying. That's the God's truth. And they all have these beads. I didn't have to paint not one of these beads because that's the colors that they come in. But that's my little cow cloche. And I think it's just adorable. And then my little piggy cloche. I just can't wait for y'all to tell me what you think about these. Y'all don't go knocking my little pitiful bow. I already know it's pitiful. Anyway, let me know what you think about all of my farmhouse kitchen stuff that I made for you today. Thank you for coming to my Welcome to the Farm video. I have a video every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Now, the 20th of the month falls on a Monday. So instead of Tuesday, the week of the 20th, I'm going to have a video on Monday because I have another video that I do the 20th of every month. And it's just one day apart, and I just didn't want to do a video on Monday and then a video on Tuesday. So that will be the week of the 20th of February will be the only week that I'm out of sync for my Tuesday videos. Anyway, if this is your first time here and you are still here, put me a little cow emoji down in the bottom so I can welcome you to Monner's Market. My name is Brenda, but my sweet grandbabies call me Monner. So thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Be blessed. Bye now.